When I was in high school, I had a couple of friends, and one of them really, really wanted to be an astronaut. And a few of the rest of us said, okay, well, we'll be your ground control. Um, and then, I don't know, since I worked at the Johnson Space Center and I was working with astronauts to some degree, I thought, well, wouldn't it be kind of cool to do that? I'd like to see humans really become spacefaring, be able to live on the moon, be able to live on other planets, um, and have regular access to space, that kind of thing. I think when they were flying the Apollo and the Lunokhod missions, they were imagining that future, and then it didn't happen. Um, I think it's going to be easier now to do that technically. I don't know whether the political environment, the funding environment, that all of that will be as easy. And that is very difficult to do if you're waiting on the whim of the taxpayer or the whim of politics. It's really hard to operate with under that kind of environment where you sort of keep changing direction, because a lot of the things that NASA does, they require a longer time horizon to develop. And with a commercial company, it's what can the company do, what is the company focused on, and not are the American taxpayers willing to fund this thing? Is it politically beneficial to fund this thing? We're looking at building a market. So we think there are resources on the moon that could be exploited to perhaps produce fuel. So that would mean if you're trying to go farther in space, you could maybe not have to launch all of that fuel off of the surface of the Earth. So the Earth has very high gravity with respect to the moon. So it's a lot easier to get stuff up off the surface of the moon than up off the surface of the Earth. So if you could produce stuff on the surface of the moon, then you could, then it's easier to get that stuff into space. You don't have to pay as much to get it all the way off the surface of the Earth. So there have been several X Prizes recently. There was the Ansari X Prize that was suborbital flight, getting to the edge of space. There's been like the Lunar Lander Challenge that was sponsored by Northrop Grumman. This is the next step, the big step, a really big one. It's going to the moon. And it's a lot of money on the prize, but that won't even pay for the mission. So you've got to want it more than just for the money. In developing this capability on the moon, we can then know better how to do it perhaps on Mars or on any other planet or asteroid or anything that we go to. Red's enthusiasm is absolutely contagious. And I don't know, I guess personally it's just a really exciting thing to be working on. I was working for a few years at the Johnson Space Center, and then I came here, and coming in I said, well, I'll just do some sort of robotics. There's all sorts of stuff going on in robotics at Carnegie Mellon. I'll do something. And then when it got down to, okay, I need to actually pick an advisor and pick a project, I gravitated back towards space robotics. And this is a very, very exciting thing going on in space robotics. There are lots of different pieces of this mission that all have to come together to make it work. And it's just fascinating to be able to see the big picture um, and to, you know, work with multiple parts of it and to just be a part of something that could be really, really big.